Man, somebody is really, really good, especially in the world of being a comedian.
Oh, God.
When you wake up in the morning and you are LOLing still at stuff that Shane Gillis had last night at the ESPYs. Sometimes the ESPN takes the ESPYs way too seriously. Like
I mean,
okay.
They still do.
But they do a couple of really good things.
They do.
Sometimes they hit a home run with their host. And I think that whole show is about the host. So Norm Macdonald, of course, was the best. We have competition because last night, Shane Gillis, who is not for everybody, including you.
Oh, I loved him.
Oh,
okay.
Are we going to have to revisit this ridiculous thing you had about the tier comedians?
We're not revisiting.
Did you change after you're going to see him in person?
I will surrender.
Okay.
I will surrender.
All right. Have you moved him up from what you had him like a tier C?
Tier B. My clear statement was he's not an A-list comedian. He's a B-list comedian who had very much more than anyone has the potential.
It was a ridiculous segment.
First off, it wasn't a ridiculous segment. It was a very funny segment. Okay. Secondly,
Matt, people were putting Matt in a body bag.
No, they weren't.
Just weird.
Matt just blocked it out from his memory.
Shane Gillis had just come off hosting Saturday Night Live and was going to be in Omaha. By the way, I see. Was he in Kansas City Saturday? What a bonus there to be in KC and you get him off the ESPYs.
Yeah.
But Matt was going to see him, and by the way, got upgraded.
Yeah.
Like second row. But he did not. He had him way down. Well, there's a long list of comedians that Matt wasn't familiar with their game.
That's not okay.
So the
comedians
older. We had people putting him in a body bag, and I was like, I got no defense because I think Shane Gillis is a tier A comedian.
Older comedians. There were some older comedians that I did not know, but I did know a lot of comedians, and I was going off of more so legacy than anything. Okay. And I said that he was a B-list comedian with the opportunity more than anybody else to be an A-list comedian. I went to his show. You're right. I got upgraded. I sat on the floor. It was absolutely incredible. Okay. He was hysterical. He was by far the best comedy show that I've ever been to. And then yesterday, he put up what might be pound for pound like the best like monologue for an award show ever. Like it was. There are multiple classics that he had from yesterday. So yeah, I surrender. The guy's incredible. Okay. He's an A-list comedian. He's absolutely insane.
Thank you.
I was wrong.
Thank you.
I was incorrect.
Thank you. So he is not for everyone. And if you're familiar with his game, he is very self-deprecating. But when you do that show, and it's not the easiest show to do. Again, sometimes ESPN takes it way too seriously. But then that show is meant for the Arthur Ashe Award, Jimmy V, the moment with Lee Corso last night. That's what that show is for. I could care less of who wins the team of the year, the male athlete of the year, but it's a good tribute to special things and then remembering people that have passed during the course of the year that are involved with sports. And Shane Gillis is perfect as a comedian because they always say in comedy, 50% are going to like you, 50% are not going to like you. And if you get that ratio, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
If you understand his kind of comedy, last night hit a home run because he hit all the things. Like if you're going to do a sports show and you're going to be a comedian and the audience is the most important thing. And I don't think the majority of the people that were there in LA are his typical audience.
Not at all.
So some of the jokes that you fire up the cockpit and you start to fly the plane, they're not going to land because that's not your audience. That's not your audience that's coming to the Chai to watch you in person. But when you do one of those shows and it's, this time of the year around sports, you have your benchmarks. Okay.
Yes.
You got to hit Shadur Sanders. You got to hit Caitlin Clark. You got to do a little politics. You got to throw in a little Bill Belichick and then kind of work your way around the room and pick and choose. Joke. He hit a home run. But, to use a sports term in a sports show, he hit a home run. And I woke up this morning and I was still laughing at some of the stuff he said. And then one of his best things, because the show was wrapping up, I kind of overlooked. So he did a Diddy joke.
I know, it was perfect.
With Drewski on stage, who was kind of attached to Diddy.
Dang, I missed that
And Drewski, who, by the way, is like a super fan who get out the way. The Eagles won the team of the year, and he acted like he was on the team. Yeah. But he did that joke while he was next to him on stage, and I'm like, oh man, what a perfect night! It was people are talking about the ESPYs this morning, and they're not talking about they'll talk about the Corso and the Penn State volleyball coach, but they're talking about Shane Gillis. So good on you, a tier A comedian.
He's been bumped up.
The Britney Hicks joke might be the greatest joke of all time. Okay, for seriously, might be one of the greatest jokes ever for a multitude of reasons. The main one is that everybody fell for it. Everybody in that audience thought Britney Hicks was a WNBA player. I'm pretty sure Diana Taurasi was clapping as well for like honoring this 4-time WNBA All-Star. But then the perfect mix of like, you know, what ESPN has been associated to, how big the WNBA is on the network, and then Gillis like still trying to prove a point that like people don't care about the WNBA as much as you want them to care, which is just a really funny like leg to still stand on, especially amongst those people.
I keep looking at the Britney Hicks.
It was incredible.
So
it was incredible.
So that it is a friend of his.
Yeah,
I believe that the woman they showed isn't she Biden's former press secretary?
Yes. No way, really?
She looks. If she's not, she looks exactly like her.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that John.
So it's not. He made up a name, and it's a friend of his. The person that was sitting next to his
just
friend
happens to be.
Yeah, but the fact that people started like clapping, I mean, even I was like, okay, I think I kind of know some of the names. And when he says 4-time, I'm like, okay, you should probably know this. Yeah, but then he sells it after the joke, and I was like, this is perfect.
Well, I think he did such a great job too of the whole like, hey, I didn't write this one. I don't think this one's gonna work. Like the this is like a bad idea that he was like throwing in between jokes, like actually kind of helped him out. So
he at his Omaha show, he would occasionally do these like, oh, I don't know about this one, and then he would get into the joke.
That's his thing. Yeah. Again, if you're not familiar with his game, last night you were probably a little confused because that's his thing. He will say, I didn't write that one. Now, I have been told that in the ESPYs, we had somebody on from the Funny Bone like 2 years ago that was not a host, but we were talking comedy, and it was like shortly after the ESPYs. And they said there are some jokes that are written for you. So he said that last night, and I was like, oh, okay, that probably happened. But that's his thing. Like he's great because he's self-deprecating, and people go, he's a big loof up there, and he's funny, and he was so funny last night.
The Bill Belichick joke too, where he's just like he just called all of the wives ugly. He's like,
I use the phrase, what, dog wife?
Yeah, dog wife.
If you won 6 Super Bowl rings, you wouldn't be sitting next to your dog wife.
Oh, God.
And then,
that one probably get a little pushback this morning.
Well, then also too, so like the Trump and the head of FIFA story that he told, there are definitely people within that audience that when you just mention Trump, they ought to like they're just not going to get a laugh out of them, or it's just going to become awkward like immediately. And he told that same story on the Dan Soder podcast, and it was such a good story on that podcast, but then he tried bringing it to the stage, and I think that fell like just like a little bit flat, but it's just like the Norm Macdonald tribute was incredible. I mean, he was just, and then the tush push segment was great as well. And then like, you know, when he did the Ayo to Nick Sirianni, which by the way, shout out Jordan Mailata. Great for like, what a great night for Mailata. He looked like $1 million yesterday, being the ambassador for football, essentially. So Shane Gillis is incredible.
I don't know.
Shane Gillis is a superstar.
So the ESPN, I guess, is getting a little pushback this morning because they did not share on the majority of their channels, like his monologue.
Oh, his YouTube channels. Yeah, they didn't.
So on TikTok, on ESPN's TikTok, they shared his whole monologue. But what is ESPN? Like, they knew what they were getting when they brought him on. They brought him on for a reason to host.
What you're signing up for.
ESPN makes some mistakes, but you research, you know enough about Shane Gillis because he's a tier A comedian that you know what you're getting. So there's no way that ESPN can go, oh, hey, we're sorry. They got exactly what they wanted because the morning after on another slow sports day outside of the Open starting, people are talking about the ESPYs and also the athletes. This is the other thing that gets me every time with the hosts, you know, and the jokes they make is the other MVP of that night is the person that is directing.
Oh my God.
That when there is a joke about a particular athlete, whether it be that particular athlete or somebody that is associated with them, they immediately cut to them in the crowd, like Freddie Freeman, who
he got a lot of action.
Freddie Freeman, people love Freddie Freeman. Yeah. He's got a thing on MLB Network, I think today. So Freddie, everybody loves Freddie. When he went into the Ohtani stuff, and they initially showed Freddie Freeman, and he knew he was on camera, and he was trying not to laugh, but how could you not? I think when they show athletes, like they showed Travis Hunter. Well, Travis Hunter like tried to
kind of hiding.
Like Simone Biles. And sometimes like Simone Biles didn't understand a joke. And her husband, the NFL player for the Bears, he was kind of like stone faced. But then you got John Jones and Drewski, and they're like, yeah.
Jonathan Owens.
Great.
Jonathan Owens was incredibly stoic and tired. Like, I don't think he laughed the entire night, and I think he was trying to help himself. But the greatest, I think, even better than all the cuts that you mentioned. So he made the Max Crosby Juneteenth joke. Yeah. And did you see who they cut to? So he makes the June. Oh yeah, Max Crosby. He had a great Juneteenth, and then they cut to Terrell Owens. and I thought it was so funny that I don't know if they did it on purpose, but they made a joke within the cut that they go, hey, here's this white football player that is celebrating Juneteenth. Let us cut to a legendary black football player that we're going to put on camera. It was pure comedy. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was put together so well. He managed the whole, like, let's not let the crowd get too uncomfortable, but I'm still going to still tell the jokes that I want to tell. I'll tell you this, when he was in Omaha, the apologizing that he had wasn't nearly as much. And the jokes were so much more vulgar in Omaha. But like you said, if you walk in, like if you get offended easily, right, you're not going to like Shane Gillis. You're not going to enjoy it. You're just going to be like, this is dumb. Why are we promoting these things? Why does this guy, I mean, I could see how someone says like, oh, he's obsessed with Trump, and stuff like that. But if you walk into a Shane Gillis concert understanding, hey, it's a comedy show and he's literally there just to make you laugh and say things that you would never hear outside of the stadium, you are going to have the time of your life. And that's what some people in that audience experienced yesterday, and that's what I experienced when I went to him a couple of weeks ago. And I know Peter probably say the same thing.
Yeah,
Peter, were you in the second row at the Shane Gillis concert?
I was there. I was up in the 200s, but
I bought tickets in the nosebleeds with the working man because I am the working man. And then I popped into a restaurant and they're like, hey, do you want to enter a raffle? And I won the raffle and I got upgraded. I was incredibly lucky.
That's pretty sweet.
And one of the greatest nights of my life.
Yeah, it was a great time. And in the upper bowl, once you take the escalator up, I think like 5 minutes before Shane took the stage, they had to make a mass announcement that beer was sold out up there.
Oh my God.
So everyone just starts going down the escalator and it just creates this huge log jam. It was a night, but it was very fun.
The beer was flowing.
It was
indeed. With that.
Do we think this is because you can't cancel Shane Gillis? Do we think that he is a one-timer at the ESPYs?
Yeah.
I think it would be perfect to just do it the last night and then never come back.
Never come back. I totally agree.
Just leave it there.
One night only. This worked like because I think his style of jokes, like, they don't work every year, and it's hard to come up with new material every year that can like blur the line of being funny but also quasi offensive. And so, like, I don't doubt his ability to continue to make jokes, but at the same time, like, I could see how people like are just like, this isn't funny as much as it is just weird and annoying. At least some group of people who enter there with, the wrong mindset.